Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Tesla stock, it's up 0.23%, so kind of a flat day on Tesla. And just like I said before, Tesla definitely exploded on Friday, got over 200, got up to 203, and then we saw a bit of a pullback. And why? Because this Bollinger Band on top, sitting at 197, 198, not fully extended to the upside, and that is why we saw a pullback. And not to mention, there will be resistance at 200. So Tesla here, we definitely have a strong bull trend. You can see all these moving averages, red line 50, white line 20, 13, and 5, all are positive, sloping to the upside, and that is a bull trend, and Tesla can move even higher. So going into this week, going into tomorrow's session, Monday, watch out. If there is a pullback, now there will be strong support on Tesla down here at 192, rising 5-day moving average, and below that, watch out for 183. Now as long as Tesla can stay above 192, watch out for the breakout over 200, and if that happens, Tesla can hold right here, and over time this Bollinger Band will extend even higher. In that case, you're going to see a rally up to this gap, 206.77 up to even 212, and once we get up here, we can talk about even more upside on Tesla, possibly going up and closing this gap near 230s. On Apple, stock is down 1.63%, so Apple came back, and look at this right here, holding on to these two moving averages right here at 210, 13, and 5-day moving average. Now Apple gets under that level, the next support will be down here at 207, and then rising 20-day moving average right here at 205. Under 205, Apple can come down all the way down to this support, this trend line right here, and that's going to be around 200, and then that weekly breakout support 198. So watch out for that on Apple. If that happens, finally we get some sort of a retracement back down to previous all-time highs. Now Apple holding 210. As long as Apple can hold right here 210, watch out for a move back up to 215, and once we can actually get over 215 on Apple and Apple can hold that, this thing can move higher back up to 220s, and blue sky above 220, this thing can go up even more up to 230s. On Amazon, stock is down 2.33%. So Amazon, I've been shorting Amazon since this candle right here, close to 195, then added more on this jump just to play it to the downside, and definitely took some profit off the table on Friday, and still holding some runners, and I think Amazon can come back down to 190 to retest this breakout right here. Now Amazon, what happened here on Amazon? It was trading way outside the Bollinger Band for multiple days, and finally we got a big bearish engulfing candle, and now trading at 193. Now there will be strong support in between 191 to 190 on Amazon. Now you can see why there is a strong support. You can see right here, Amazon getting close to 190, rejection right here multiple times, breaking over 190 and then pulling back, huge pullback down to 173. Again came back up, got close to 190, pullback, and then finally right here we got the breakout, and now it's holding over 190. So Amazon gets down to 190. As long as support can hold right here, that is going to be a buying opportunity, play to the upside back up to 200. Now under 190, there will be some selling down to 188, 185, 183, and then 180. But as long as Amazon can hold 190 to 191, watch out for a move back up to 195 and then 200. On Google, stock is down 1.84%, so Google was trading way outside the Bollinger Band for multiple days, just like Amazon stock, and now you can see Google actually pulling back, and it might be coming down to this support right here, this breakout 180, and that is going to be your line in the sand for tomorrow's session on Monday. 180 gives up, we have strong support below that, also rising 20-day moving average, this white line, close to 179, and then 176 also will be another strong support. Now as long as 180 can hold, watch out for a bounce off of this support 180, and this thing breaks and holds right here 185. This thing can push back up to all-time highs again 187.50 and possibly even 190. That's gonna be another brand new all-time high on Google. On Meta, it's down 2.95%. So Meta, I actually took calls on Meta Friday, guys, and this thing was fantastic. And let me show you guys what happened here on Meta Friday. This is where I actually got in. Early in the morning, you can see right here, this thing came back to close this gap at 213. And I did talk about it in my video, the one I made before this video, that 213 will be your dip buying opportunity. I think that was Thursday night, and this is where I actually got in. And guess what? The calls I actually sold for 100%, but it went over 300%. I mean, this thing, 520 calls went in the money, over the money, and then after selling it, this thing crashed all the way down to the support 505 to 504. Now, all these trade ideas are available on Patreon, and especially if you guys are serious about trading and you want to support the channel, then definitely check out that link down below in the description for Patreon. Now, 504 to 505, that is holding right here, but below that, we could see a dump off on Meta down to, I would say, 500 to 499 right here, rising 20-day moving average right here. And below that level, you will see more selling down to 490 and then this gap 478.89. Now, as long as Meta can hold right here anywhere from, I would say, 500 to 505, watch out for a bounce back up to the upside, all the way back up to 520. And once we get over 520, and you can see multiple rejection on Thursday and Friday at 520. So this level has to break on Meta 520, and once we get over 520, then we can talk about possibly retesting previous all-time highs 531.49 to even brand new all-time high 538. On Microsoft is down 1.30%, so also getting a pullback here on Microsoft under 551. So is that telling us that we might get a pullback before 4th of July? Possible, guys. Watch out for that. Now, into closing, look at this orange line, 13-day moving average, sitting at 446 and pretty much holding right there. So 446 will be a support level to watch going into tomorrow's session, and below that, your key line in the sand, 443. Under that level, Microsoft will come back down to 20-day moving average, 437, and then this gap, 432.82. Now to the upside, Microsoft needs to clear and hold 451, and if that happens, you're going to see a move back up to all-time highs 456 and possibly up to even 464, and that's going to be another brand new all-time high. But I think Microsoft takes out this support 443, you're going to see some selling at least in near short term, possibly coming down and retesting this breakout down here, and that's going to be around 433 to 432 to close this gap and also retest this breakout from previous all-time highs on Microsoft. On AMD, it's up 1.72%, so I'm glad that AMD actually not following Nvidia stock, and this thing was actually up all the way up to 166. And look at this massive, attempt of a breakout, not only from this wedge, also over 164, got up to almost 167, and then pulling back and closing right here, right on top of this wedge right here at 160. So that's going to be a support to watch now also, because we have rising 20-day moving average sitting at 161.30. That's going to be a support in between 160 and 161 right here. And under that level, we also have these moving averages. So all the way down to, I would say, 155 to 161. There is going to be strong support right here and this trend line as well. As long as AMD can stay above, I would say, 155 to 161, hold this trend line or hold these moving averages right here, and we get that breakout over 164, you're going to see a massive move. The first one will be right up here at 173, and from there, this thing can take off up to 184 and then 188, and I think that move is coming very soon, as long as this support can hold right here on AMD, at least above 155, this trend line and lower Bollinger Band right here. So Netflix also going down 1.38% after getting up to 687 on Friday, and look at this support trend line right here, this uptrend that is holding right here at 674 to 673. Now under that level, you're going to see a dump off down to not only 664, possibly down to rising 20-day moving average 660, and then we can talk about possibly coming down and retesting even 630. Now, as long as this support can hold right here, guys, 674 to 673, watch out for a bounce back up to this high right here. That's going to be around 690, and then Bollinger Band already expanded all the way up to 697, so this thing can definitely hit 700, but this support needs to hold 674 to 673. But if that don't hold next week, then watch out for a dump off to this support right here, 664, and then rising 20-day moving average 660, and from there this thing can come down even more, down to even 630. On Nvidia, stock is down 0.36%. So Nvidia, you can see right here, and we did talk about it before. This could be a bear flag, but don't take my word for it, because Nvidia stock, any bearish pattern, definitely in last at least 1 year, not playing out to the downside. We have seen many times Nvidia breaking out to the upside, even with bearish pattern. This is the only time we got this bearish engulfing candle and we got some follow through to the downside, but the critical support still needs to break, which is going to be at 117.85, or you can round it up, it's going to be 118. So Nvidia right here, now it's holding 122 to 123, this previous high 4-day balance as a support. Underneath that level, you're going to see a dump off down to 117.85, and soon as that gives up, this thing will come down, possibly down to, I would say, 113-ish right here to retest this trend line, and under that level can go down even more. And I think at one point you will see Nvidia down to $100 to $96 to close this gap down here. Now let's talk about bullish scenarios on Nvidia stock. This thing actually gets that breakout over 126. 126 can hold and finally get over 130. That is when you're going to see Nvidia going back up to all-time highs again, at least 136 in the short term over 130. But that needs to happen first, and then we can talk about those levels to the upside and possibly even a brand new all-time high. So next week, watch out. Anything below 122, 123 will bring Nvidia down to 118. And below 118, you're going to see a lot more selling and possibly down to 113 and then 107. And then we can talk about this gap, like I said, 100 to 96 bucks right down here to close this gap and possibly retest this breakout right here. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section.